Alright, so like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing my version of my cat. But this is essentially what you're going to be needing. Your Alpha Loom and your Alpha Loom comb. I'm also going to be using 20 gauge wire and some pliers to be able to help me with folding it. And maybe 2 hooks, okay? So obviously one of them has to be Rainbow Loom. I may be using this one, I'm not too sure. And you're also going to be needing quite a bit of C-clips. If you don't have an Alpha Loom, then you can just go ahead and use your regular loom. And I'm just going to be taking off the large base. Because you really don't need it. And you're just going to be using these right there. It's going to take a lot longer, but I mean, you can still be able to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing is I'm going to be showing you how to create the head. And for the head, you can go ahead and do whatever color combination you want. If you want to do a black cat, if you want to do a multicolored cat. For right now, we're going to be starting with the ears. So whatever your ear colors are going to be, go ahead and do that. So you obviously need your back color and then the inside color of your ears. Okay, I'm going to do the ears on this one. For the ears on my black cat, I used gray and black. So I'm going to show you how to be able to do it on dual sides. Okay, so one side is going to be one color, the other side is going to be another color. So for my cheetah, I'm going to be using some of these lighter purple. I'm going to be using some yellow and like 2 blacks. I'm only going to do 1 black on one ear, 1 black on the other one, just to be able to give it kind of these spots on the back. Right, so in order to be able to create this dual effect, I'm going to be using the technique that I used when I created my Charizard's wings, which is the same technique that Crafting Fantastic also uses, but this version I kind of did it in my own way. So again, we're going to be starting with double bands just to be able to create the base. We're going to make both of the ears on this Alpha Loom. So go ahead and start off with your main color, right? Your main body color. You're going to be grabbing 2 of those bands, and you're going to do the first ear on 3 pegs. The second ear will be done in the bottom 3 pegs. So let's go ahead and put those, and we're always starting off with a figure 8, right? There we go. Now you have both of your ears started with the base, we're going to add our cap bands. And the cap bands are just going to be basically the ear color, and they're going to be doubled. Right. And on this side too. So just go across until you have them doubled on both sides. And now we're going to add our 2 colors. So with this one, in order to be able to get it correctly, I use basically I'm going to be using both of the colors that I need, and I'm going to be inserting 1 band through one of the other band colors, and I'm going to pinch it so I can be able to have it on the other side. Please excuse my nails. I do a lot of art and dark painting, but that's pretty much like what I do. Alright, so I'm going to do it again, so that way you guys can be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to grab 2 colors, right, and one of them I'm going to push inside the other, and I'm going to fold it so that way I can have it like that, right. That little piece right here, I'm going to pull it out so that way I have it now on this side. And I am adding them right on the edge right here in the middle. So they have to be aligned right in the middle, otherwise it's not going to work. And one color has to be on one side, one color has to be on the other side. I'm going to show you one more time and I'm going to do the rest of them faster. So again, you're going to be pushing one band in through the other, just like this, and then fold it so that way you have one band already on one side. This little middle part, you're going to pull, right, and also grab the other end so that way you now have this going on. So again, make sure they are all even, they're all perfect. Okay, so now let's do the other side. And the other side, it's basically the same thing. Alright. And now that you have that, we're going to flip over this cap band onto the middle. And this is a great way to figure out if you're doing it correctly, because you should be able to see one color is on one side, the other color is on the other side, on both sections. And that will make it perfect. And now let's go ahead and flip over the bottom two bands. Flip over the bottom two bands and then push down. Okay. We're going to do one more row just like this. On this row, I'm going to be adding my spots. Right. So I'm going to do the first one regularly with my two regular colors. But my second row, I'm going to use, instead of yellow, I'm going to use black. Right, just to be able to make my spot in the back of the ear. Because cheetahs have spots. So again, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the one for the second ear. And just automatically add it right there in the middle. And continue working and putting on the rest. So don't forget the rest, okay? Actually, I keep doing this all the time. I keep forgetting my my cap bands inside. So hang on, let's. Sorry about that. Totally sorry. Let's do our cap band. All right. So again, it's gonna go around the entire thing twice. Let's put cap band again around the entire thing twice. Alright, push down so you have room for your bands, and let's go ahead and there we go. Let's go ahead and start putting these again. Alright, let's flip over our cap band to the middle. I see that this one has to be adjusted, so there we go. Alright, now again flip over the bottom two bands. There we go. Just gonna forget one, so there we go. Alright, cool. Alright. Now on this next row, we're going to start diminishing. And we're gonna start diminishing from the outsides. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this top section and transfer it onto the middle. Same thing for this one. Grab that, transfer it to the middle. Push down. Now the one from over here, the one on the outside again, grab it, and put in the middle. Same thing for this one, grab it, put it in the middle, push down. And now we are down to 2. So the same thing again. I'm gonna go ahead and whoops, hang on. I need my cap band again. Sorry about that. So this cap band, it's gonna go around 3 times. So again, 1, 2, and 3. All right. So over here as well. Make sure it's going around these. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So make sure they're going 3 times both sides. Now we can add our bands and duo them. So fuse them together. Move the middle cap band. I want to be careful I don't drop these bands. Alright, and now flip over the bottom. So, yeah, just the bottom 2. Alright, and then get the extra 2 on the other side. The extra 2 on this side also. Same thing over here. So flip them all. And then grab the extra 2 on the bottom on this side and the extra 2 on the bottom on this side also. Alright. And now we're going to diminish one more time. So again, I'm going to grab the one from the outside over here and put it towards the middle. Same thing over here. Put it towards the middle. And over here, go from the one from the outside and go towards the middle. And on this side too, grab it from the outside. Let me push this down. There we go. And put it on the middle one. Alright. Now this one's just going to be one that we're adding. You don't need a cap band. Alright. And now flip over the 4 bands over those 2. Flip over the 4 bands. Make sure I grab them all. There we go. Oop, I want to be careful they don't fall off my peg. Okay. This last one, you're going to need 1 band, and it's going to be capped. And just put it right there. Go 1 band, cap it, put it right there, and flip over. Make sure it's whatever your main color for your body that is going to be capped. Alright. And the last thing is to transfer these onto the other side. And now I'm going to use my hook and I'm going to slip knot them. Take them out of the loom. Right, and time to adjust. Because I don't want that black to show right there, so I'm going to be pulling that out. There we go, much better. So my ear. Same thing right here. I'm gonna just pull from the back a little bit and adjust, so that way those colors are not showing up on the front. Awesome. So you can tell that your ears are kind of curling onto one side. So whichever ones you wanted to have them curl into, go ahead and just keep them that way. Now, for the slip knot, we're just going to hide it. We're going to go ahead and start putting it inside. Start to hide it. Just take your time so that way it's very well hidden. You don't want it to look very sloppy. Just put it inside some bands. There we go. Alright. So now that it's hidden like that, we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Alright. My ears are done. Now let's go ahead and start on the next part. Will be the eyes. And for the eyes, they have to look like this. So this is what I'm choosing to go with. You have different options for creating your eyes. If you want to make them look like this, if you're doing a regular cat, then I suggest using glow-in-the-dark bands because they look really cool. It'll look really nice at night, and it'll actually look like a cat because, of course, cat's eyes glow. So if you want to use glow-in-the-dark bands, this is your chance. You can use green ones or white ones, and it'll make them look like Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service if you use white. But if you want to use like green glow-in-the-dark ones or yellow ones or blue ones, then go ahead. But for my cheetah has, of course, black eyes around its little white pupil. So I'm choosing to make it this way. Here's how we're going to do it. So first, we're going to be using only our hook to create the black part of the pupil. And with one band at a time, I'm going to wrap it around my hook 3 times. So there's one, and we're going to do this 4 times. So wrap it around 3 times. That's our second one. Wrap it around 3 times. That's our third one. Wrap it around 3 times. And that's our 4th one. And so now that's long enough. And I'm going to use 2 white bands for one eye. So one white is going to hold all of these together. So go ahead and transfer them all onto the white band and reclaim it back onto your hook. Now I need to grab my other white band, and this one is going to go around my hook 4 times. When you have it going around your hook 4 times, you're going to pull on this, and then you're going to transfer this onto the other side. So you want your eyeball to be in the middle. If you are doing one of these, this little eyeball is going to be black, and this one will be the same color as your eye. Alright, so now we have to put them and seal it like this. So the first thing we have to do is I'm going to continue with black just to be able to make the top part of the eye. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be making the brow. Whatever color you want the brow, you're going to be using these colors. Okay. I'm going to need 3 black ones, and I'm going to start off by putting them like this, and the next one going right onto the next one, and the third one going on to the next row. So just like that. And then I'm going to need a yellow band to cap it. And the reason I'm using yellow is because this is going to be the body color. This one is going to be the beginning to connect onto everything. Once you are at that stage, I'm going to need another black one to transfer all this just one more time, so that way I can put it onto my Alpha Loom. I'm going to cap this one though, so I'm going to cap my black one. And again, this one I'm using, if you are not making a cheetah and you're making a cat, make it the body color of the cat. But if you're doing a cheetah, then do it in the same way that I'm doing it. So now I'm going to transfer them all in the same way that I have them right here. I'm going to add one end onto this second one from the beginning, and then the other end onto the very end right here where the cap end is. So just like that. Alright, when you have that done, you're going to loop that very bottom band through these 2 band sections. So go ahead and pull it out and loop it onto this one here. Now you're going to go in here, grab that bottom one, then loop it onto this one. Grab that bottom one, loop it onto here. And now I need to make a slip knot. I'm going to use my body color. And take it out. You need 2 of these, so make sure that you make another one. And that way you can have your eyes. And now we can start applying them onto the beginning of our head. Okay. There we go. Right, in this section, we're going to create the snout for the cat. And this will consist of the nose to this ridge here to the cheeks and the bottom part of the mouth. Okay, so it's just going to be just this bottom part. It's going to be done in 2 sections. Right, so whatever colors you're going to be choosing, let's go ahead and start off. For my cheetah, I'm gonna make my nose black, and I'm gonna make the rest of the mouth in yellow. So whatever, if you want to choose pink for your nose of your cat, or gray, or black, or whatever color you want to choose, you're going to need at least 2 blacks. Sorry, at least two of those for your nose. Okay, so this is going to be my nose color. For my Alpha Loom, I'm going to start on the 2nd row. Okay, and with one band, I'm going to add it as a figure 8 onto that row and the third row. Now that is complete, I need to add my cap band. And with this cap band, I'm going to use one of my yellow ones, and it's going to be applied 3 times. So that's 1, this is 2, and 3. Now that you apply it 3 times, you can scale it down so you have room for your other ones. And I need 2 more bands on top of these. So 1, 2. Another one down here. 1 and 2. So my 2 bands are there. With my comb, I'm going to move these bands, the cap band, onto the middle. So that way I have my holding band there. And now I can flip over the bottom bands on both sides, just the bottom ones, which are going to be your nose color. With your other side of the comb, push down. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to do another row. Actually, on this one, I'm going to use black on the top one, just to be able to add a little line on there. And go ahead and flip over your bottom row. And push down. Right, so now we have 2 bands on each side. The next thing I'm going to do is create my third row, which will be in the 4th section here, and another single band in a figure 8, and another cap band, but this one's going to be double instead of triple. So there's 1 going on all these 3 pegs, and then double it. All right. So once you have it doubled, push down so you have room for your other bands to go on top for this next row. And this last one will need 2 bands because we need 3 bands in total. Make sure that they are in order. Alright, there we go. So you need 3 bands on this last one. Now flip over this middle one. Alright. Now that you have it there, now you're going to flip the last band on all of them. And push down. And again, you have 2 bands on each row. Right. And one more row of just single bands across all of them. And go ahead and flip over just the bottom last third row of bands. Oops, there we go. And push down. Okay. Now, this next part, I'm going to use my hook because it'll be a lot easier to show you. What I'm going to do is on this row, this top one, I'm going to grab the top band from there, and I'm going to move it up to this row. Same thing on this side, I'm going to grab that top band and move it up to that row. Same thing right here, I'm going to grab this top band on the last row and move it 1 row down, and this one also, move it 1 row down. So now you have 5 rows going on. I'm going to add another holding band onto all 5, just like that. And actually, I need to cap it right here on those 2. So what I'm going to do with your hook is you're going to go right here in between the 2nd and the 3rd and go towards the inside, pull, and then shift it over onto those 2, just like that. So now it's doubled on just these 2 alone. All right. Now that is complete, You notice how there's two bands right there, but there's one on all these. So all of these are going to need two bands except for that middle one. So this middle one only needs one band because we need 3 bands on each row. Now that is complete, I'm going to grab my comb and I'm going to start off right here where it's capped twice and flip it over to the middle and continue doing that for the rest of it. And that way it's a lot easier. And flip over the bottom band on all the rows. Be careful with that middle one. All right, make sure that there's 2 left over. Sometimes you have to go a little bit fishing. Alright, and push down. Okay, so that is the start of our 5 rows now. And it should go a lot smoother from here because it's going to continue with this. We have to do this just a few more times. So let's go ahead and put another row of single bands and flip over the bottom 3rd row. Right, make sure that you always leave 2 bands behind. There we go. And then push down. Alright, I'm going to put another holding band. This is my 2nd holding band that I'm adding. So another row. Well, the 2nd holding band for the 5 rows. Obviously, it's not my 2nd one, but let's go ahead and flip it over. And this time, I don't need to do any special thing to it. It's just going to be across on all of them. Now, go ahead and flip over the bottom rows. There we go. And then push down. And now we're going to just put single ones across. We don't need a holding band on this section. And flip over the bottom row. All right, there we go. One, two, three, four, 5. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last section. So one more row of a holding band, and go ahead and put your bands across. Flip over your holding band onto the middle, and now flip the bottom row. Yeah. One more row of just single ones going across. And this is the last row we have. And then we're going to close it up. Go ahead and flip over the bottom row. Push down. We have 2 bands on each peg now. So go ahead and just flip over one more time until you have 1 set of bands left. Alright, so now we've gotten that. Now we're going to be doing this a lot. I'm going to be transferring these bands onto one side. So just go ahead and grab them all and be careful with this section because you don't want them to fall on you. And carefully start sliding them on until they all start going on to the pegs. Just like that. So just comb them over to the other side. Once you get them there to that side, push down. Whoop. I'm going to be using my hook for this one. I'm going to go through this bottom part right here, right where I have my 2 pegs left. This bottom section, I'm going to grab one of the bands. This one's kind of loosened up more. And I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to reclaim that band onto my hook, and I'm going to put that on this peg, just like that. Now I'm going to go through all 4 of these rows, which is actually 2 bands. Put another band through them, reclaim it, just like that, and now put it onto the peg. I'm going to go through them again, onto this 3rd one, reclaim another band, and put it on this peg. And I'm going to go through here, do the same thing. And the last one right here at the very top. Okay. And I'm just going to slip knot it. And that's it. So this is one side of the cheek. Let's go ahead and take it out of our Alpha Loom. Right. And we have one side done. We're going to create the next side by starting to add on these things. So the first thing you want to do is locate your nose color bands, which are going to be right here. It's these 2. And then you need to look at this 3rd row and locate the top bands. Right, so be careful, make sure that you have those top bands available. Right. And for me, like, I know that it's going to be these 2 because I'm straightening them, so that way I know that I have to grab those. From your Alpha Loom, you're going to slide it from the bottom to the top. And again, I'm going to add these onto the 2nd row. So I'm just going to grab them both, so it's a lot easier for me to handle. And with my fingers, I'm going to add one side onto that peg, and then this one onto the other peg. Now, same thing with this one. I'm going to pull so I can grab with my fingers. I'm going to add that one here and this one here. And now I'm going to grab the 3rd one with my finger. I'm going to add them on, and I'm going to pull down. So hopefully you have that. It's going at an angle right now, which is perfect. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on this side, but we already have our starting bands right there. So now what we need is our cap band just on these 2, right? So this one's going to go across 3 times just on the first 2. So that's 2, and this will be 3. Now that's going around 3 times. Push it down so that we have room for your next one, and add 2 bands onto the top, right there only. So you have your 2 rows of bands just on these 2. Don't worry about this 3rd one yet. We're not going to touch that yet, okay? Go ahead and flip over your triple capped band onto the middle, and flip over just the bottom 2, your nose colored bands. You're going to flip only. Do not flip over this 3rd one, and push down. I need another row right here, and this one will be in black, and the 2nd one will be in yellow for me, because I need to match this side. So whatever you did on this side, you're going to do for the other side as well. So again, just flip over those two, flip over these two. Now that you have that, now we're going to be adding our next row, and this one's going to be double capped. This is going to be one of the holding bands and double cap it on all three of your pegs. And go ahead and add one band to the first two rows and two bands onto the third row. So that way you have three bands. Flip over the middle one, and now flip over the bottom bands on all your rows. And push down. Right. You need a few more yellows. Okay, and now I'm going to add one more row of singles across. And I'm going to flip over just the bottom row. Okay, so again, we're going to transition just this top row, one row up, and then on this last one too, grab the top band and transition it to the bottom one. So now you have 5 going on. We're going to be adding a holding band onto the entire thing, but remember, we're going to do the same thing with your hook. Go ahead and go right here in the middle of the second and third row and push towards the inside and then over. So now you have 2 rows going on, just these two. And now we're going to add our bands going across. Remember that all of these except for that middle one need 2 bands to be added. And this one only needs 1. And the rest again need 2 bands. Alright. Now let's go ahead and flip over the holding band with these 2 first, and then transfer the rest of it onto the middle. And flip over just the bottom bands. Again, be very careful because you don't want to grab more than 1. And then push down. Alright, and then another row of singles going across the entire thing. And flip over. And push down. Alright. Now I need another holding band going across the entire thing just normally, and add another row of singles going across all your pegs. And flip over, and the bottom row. And push down. One more row of singles going across. and flip over. And push down. Alright, so this is going to be our last holding band. So going across all of them and one more row of singles. Flip over your holding band onto the middle and push, flip over your bottom row. There you go. There we go. And push down. Alright, now last row of singles. Going all across. This will be our last one, and then we close it off. Go ahead and flip over. Alright, and again flip over. Until you have only one set of bands. There you go. Alright, and again, we're going to transfer one side onto the other side, so be careful with this side. So just start to wiggle across until you get them all onto the peg, like that. Same thing that we did on this side. We're starting from the bottom right here. You're going to add these extra bands. And the last one will be a slip knot. Okay. Go ahead and take it off your loom. And now you have the bottom part of the mouth. Alright. So for this one's pretty much this. Okay, this is what we did right now. So it's going to end up looking like that once it's put together. Alright, so this is one piece. Okay, so at this point you should have these pieces together, so that way we can be able to create the last piece and finally put the entire thing all together. So now we're going to go ahead and create the brow. And the brow part, we'll begin first with this part and make our way to the back. So we're going to be adding the ears and the eyes on this section. And then at the very end, once we take it out of the Alpha Loom, we will connect the snout and then put the entire head together. So let's go ahead and create. So we're going to start right here with the bridge, make our way back. All right. So the first thing we need to do is to start off with the bridge, and then we're going to add the eyes. So you should have this so far for your cat, however it looks like. I'm going to start off with one band right down the middle of my Alpha Loom. And in this case, I'm going to add 2 more bands right on top. And I'm gonna flip over just that bottom band, so that way you have one in the middle. I'm gonna push down so I have room for my next one. And I'm going to flip over one more. I'm gonna do a third one. Finally, a fourth one. Alright. Now that I flipped it over 4 times, I'm going to start adding the eyes. And the first one, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the eyes, and how I'm going to attach it is if you look at how it is right there, you're going to grab one of the ends right here, and then obviously the slip knot will just stay as is. So this end, it's obviously opening like this. With your eye facing you, go ahead and add it like this onto these 2 pegs right here with the eye facing you. So now you're going to go ahead and tuck that eye down there. Flip it over. Same thing for this one. With the eye facing you, I have that little butterfly effect going on right there, where it's just like looks like a little wings, right? So, but this time I'm gonna have it this way, okay? All right, and now go ahead and tuck that down. So your slip knots should be facing towards the outside, and that's the correct way to have them. All right, now that we have added those, let's go ahead and add the rest of it. In order to be able to add the rest of it, you have to take a look at how the eye is. So I'm gonna just grab the slip knot and pull on it, and then there's this teardrop right here in the front. Okay, so you see this teardrop right here in the front. That one has to stay facing front, so I'm gonna grab the back 2 of that teardrop, and I'm going to add that right there, and that next one right there. All right, so it should be just like that. The same thing on this one. I'm gonna pull on this a little, hold on to it with my finger, and I'm gonna grab the back 2, so I still have these this band right there, and I'm gonna grab these back 2 and put them right there. All right. Now I'm gonna put one band over all of them. And then I'm going to flip the black, well, my black ones, but the ones that I just placed onto there, so that way they're right in the middle. Flip these as well. I should just use my comb, it would have been a lot faster. Alright, so now that they are right in the middle, they're set, and we can continue with our cat. 1, 2. All right, I think that's correct. So let's try and remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then. Okay, yeah, I think that is correct. So now we're going to go ahead and add a holding band onto the entire thing, and start adding your 2 bands onto all of them except for the middle one. The middle one only needs one band because it already has two bands there. Yeah, let's just continue that way. Actually, no, sorry, hang on. Let's just flip over this one so that way it's even with one. So I'm just gonna flip over just the middle one. So I'm gonna go on this place where I have the holding band. I'm gonna open it up, grab the bottom one, just flip it over. Alright. Now let's go ahead and add two bands onto all of them. My cheetah has spots. Right here. No, I'm gonna go ahead and do them on these actually. Yeah, I'm gonna replace just the top one on these two with a black one, just to give it some spots. Alright, and now I'm done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and flip over that middle band, and with your comb, go ahead and grab onto all the bottom bands and flip those over. Don't worry about these slip knots. Alright, so hopefully they don't get in your way. Push down. And we're gonna do another row over. So right now we just added these three sections. So obviously these three sections is gonna be our fourth section. So this will be all this will be our fourth section. In total we need at least, I think, 22. So now go ahead and flip over just the bottom row. Yep, that's correct. There we go. Push down. Our fifth section. Oops, I'm sorry about that. We have to put our holding band. Take these out. Let's put our holding band on this one. The other one is fine because if we skip one. So there's our holding band. Now let's go ahead and put our bands across. Okay, flip over your middle band, and now flip over the bottom bands. Okay, so from this was our fifth one. I'm gonna have to come back for this one. Didn't get this one, so I'm gonna flip it and push down. All right, so we already have our middle one, so now we're gonna go ahead and go directly to our sixth one. Okay. And on our 8th one, we're going to add our ears. So this is our 6th one. I keep missing just these two. Come on. There we go. Alright. 7th one, we're going to add our holding band. Put your bands across on all of them. Okay. So I'm going to transfer this over to the other side, to the middle, and flip over the bottom bands. That middle one, come on. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright. Okay, so now before we go on to adding our 8th row, let's go ahead and take a moment and check. So right now, I'm just seeing how it is. So I'm gonna go into this side. So obviously I can tell this is going to be my front because my brow is showing right there. The reason why I can tell is because these bands are forward as opposed to the other one. Okay. As opposed to this side, which my bands are not showing that much. So from right here, these are my forward bands. So if you can see your teardrop ones, right? That means that this is these are the front of the head. So I'm gonna remember this because my hole right is on this side. Right. So that means I'm gonna add my ears right here on this side. And let's go ahead and add our ears. And mine are like pointing to the inside. You can kind of tell just where they are because they're straight, and these are the ones where everything got joined together, the ones on the outside. So the straight part you're going to have on the inside. So you're going to flip it over upside down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and flip these over to the other side. I'm going to grab the last pair. So it's 4 bands. Put them on. Make sure it's on correctly. Nothing's twisting. Okay, so now I'm going to grab these 2 again. Put them back on this peg. And then transfer these over. Alright. Now the other side. So if you want to just go ahead and flip over all these to the other side, it'll probably be a lot easier. And let's add the ear. So I guess I can add it from the top also. I'm just going to go ahead and start applying all these bands. Alright. And now transfer these back onto the other side. Just like that. Alright, and now let's put these over them. Alright. Alright, so now my ears are attached. Okay. Time for our 8th one. Let's go ahead and put that on. So these should all go across. And flip over the bottom row. There we go. Okay. Our 9th row, starting with our holding bands, and now the ones that go across. Flip over your holding band to the middle. There we go. And the bottom row. There we go. Flip it over. Yeah, flip over and push down. Time for our 10th row. These are just going to go right across. There we go. Our 11th row, go with your holding band, and then put your ones across. Flip over your holding band and your bottom row. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. So you can see that it's starting to come out. Hopefully it looks how you wanted it to look. Row number 12. I'm actually going to add some spots. So I'm going to add a spot right here in the middle. Yeah, going correctly. All right, row number 13 with our holding band across all of them. And then, oh, I'm gonna do another set of spots right here on the ends. Okay, let's flip over our middle piece and the bottom bands. Or was I think that was 13, so this should be 14, I think. Alright. I think this is 16. Sorry, 15. So with our holding band across all of them and put your bands across. There we go. Now this is 16, so this one's going just straight across because we already have our holding band that we did previously. Alright, now 17 with our holding band going across all of them, and then our single ones. Flip over your holding band and the bottom row. Yep. And there we go. That was 17. So now this will be row 18. I'm going to add another set of spots right here. Yeah. We're almost done. So that was row 18. Let me just go ahead and confirm really quick. Okay, so that one's our last row, actually. So let's go ahead and start flipping over one more row. Oh, I already flipped it over on the last one. Huh. Alright, so now we have just these last ones right there. We're going to flip over to the other side. Alright, so now they're right there. And now just, doesn't matter which side, just pick a side. We're going to go ahead and close it up. So the same thing that we did before, you're gonna reclaim a band and flip it over to the other side. Reclaim a band, flip it over to the other peg. Reclaim a band to the other peg. and slip knot. There we go. Take off the entire thing. All right. So right now you have this shape going on. We're going to be attaching this piece onto it. The best way to do that right now is from whatever side you choose to be your front. Hopefully you kind of already started folding it like this. There are these bands right here. Obviously we want this one to be the nose, these two bands. So I want these that are right on the top. I'm gonna go from the inside of the V part. I'm gonna go through them, get the upper part of the head, and the same direction. So I want to attach it like this. So I'm going to grab that part with my hook, and I'm going to pull right through. So now I have it right there, and I'm going to open this hole and allow the entire snout to go through it. This is going to stretch your band a bit, but it's fine. And then it should attach that piece right there. So now you have that piece attached. It's one less thing to worry about. And now we're going to attach the rest of the cat head. On this part, we are going to need some, just a couple clips. We may need at least like 2 or 3, we'll see. You should have this so far. Now that you have this, we're going to start connecting everything with your hook. And I'm also going to be using some stuffing, or you can just go ahead and just use like an old bracelet or something and just crumble it up, and you're just going to leave it in the middle, so that way it has at least some type of support in the middle. Alright, now here's how we're going to do it. First thing that we will do is connect the bottom, so that way we can be able to have that already checked. So automatically you should have these 2 bands that stick out right to you, right? These 2 initial starting ones. You're going to go and grab one, and then with the other one grab with the hook, and then pass it through that one. Now you're going to turn this around, and you're going to go onto this one. So from here, we're going to skip this next one and go directly onto the one here. And I'm going to pull that one through that loop. Right? And now I'm going to go on to the one on this side. And obviously this is the next one right here, because the other one I'm already holding, so this is the one that is clear, but I'm going to skip that one and go directly onto this next one right here and loop it through. We're going to do this one more time over here. So this is clearly the next one, but I'm going to skip that one. So I'm going to go directly to the one after and loop it through. Now the other side. There's my next one right here. So I'm going to skip that one and go to this one. And pull that and loop it through. Now right here, I'm going to add one of my clips. This will be the end, and I'll mark the beginning of the neck. But at least the bottom part of your cat snout has been connected, so it should start taking more shape. The next part is we're going to start with one side right here. I'm going to start on this side. Don't worry about the eye for right now. This part we'll go ahead and connect it later. But right here, there's this little part that is raising up. This one is obviously raising up, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that one through this way. I'm going to grab this loop, pull that through there. Actually, maybe it'll be a lot easier going through the other way. So I'm gonna go this way instead. And there we go. I'm just gonna go and grab that loop and pull it through. Right. Now that I've connected on this side, I need to go onto this side. So right here, I'm gonna go from the bottom. And I noticed that there's these top rows right there, but I'm not gonna touch those. I'm gonna try to go through the ones on the bottom right here because it'll be a lot easier. So there's this one right here, but I'm gonna skip that one and go directly to the next one, which will be the second one right here, right? And you're gonna have to kind of do it left-handed. So I'm gonna put my slip knot on my loop and pull it through. And now I have to go through the other side right here. So this next one would have been this one, but I'm gonna skip that one and go directly onto this one. Pull through. Alright. Now up here, the same thing. It is being pulled from this one, so I'm gonna skip this one and go directly onto this next one right here. Right there. And pull that slip knot through. Alright, almost, right, almost. Now right here, this one would have been the next one, but I'm going to skip that one and go directly onto this one. Right there. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and go up here on the ear part. These bands, go behind the ear and go through all those bands. I want to make sure I go through all 4 of them. Just like that. Now I'm going to grab that loop, pull through. Right. Right, I'm going to hold that little loop right there, and I'm actually going to, it'll be a lot easier if I put it back on my hook. Because I'm going to grab this slip knot now and pull it through that loop. And that's the last part, so now we have a new slip knot right there. And that has been connected. So now to continue right here, so since we're on this side, we have to connect to this side. So again, I'm going to go ahead and grab hold of, now instead of the bottom ones, I'm actually going to go on to, oops, I'm off the camera. Instead of the bottom ones, I'm going to go on just to the top ones. So it's obviously right here, this top part. I'm going to go right here. This will be the next one right here, because I'm just going to skip these 2 right here. Go directly to this 3rd one. Pull that slip knot through. The next part will be from the outside. There's these loops right here, these teardrops. So you're going to go through and grab those 2, pull that through the teardrop. Right here, I'm just going to go ahead and add another slip knot onto it to elongate it, just so it doesn't make it too tight. Alright, this will make it also a lot easier. Next right here, this one is the obvious next one, but I'm going to skip 2, so I'm going to go to the 3rd one right here. Right. So I skipped 2 and I went to the 3rd one. Pull it through. Alright, and now the next teardrop, which is this one right here. Alright, over here. This one's my next one right here, but I'm going to skip 2 and go to the 3rd one right here. And my next teardrop, this one. So right here, this one's my next one, but skip 2 and go to the 3rd one right here. And then I'm out, this is going to be like my last one, my last teardrop, basically. Right. And then now I'm on these teardrops. So from this one, I'm going to go ahead and just grab onto this last loop here. Just go ahead and grab onto it. Right. And then I'm going to skip this one, which would have been the next one, and go directly onto this next one. And just going to grab one of them, pull it through, and from there I'm actually going to connect it onto this clip. All right. So now one side is done. Now let's do the other side. So we're going to do the same thing again. Working with this slip knot up here, I see this raised one, this little loop right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that slip knot, pull it through. Right here, this one's the next one, but I'm going to skip one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. Whoops. I went from the top one. I'm supposed to grab from the bottom. So this one's the obvious next one. So it's this one right here. I'm going to go from the bottom right here. All right. These I actually think I got from the top. Did I? Yeah, I got from the top. Alright, so right here, this one is the next one, but I'm going to skip that one and go on to this next one right here, which is the one after I skipped. And pull it through that loop. Right here, this is the next one, but I'm going to skip it and go to this one. Alright, right here, one more time. This one's already raised up for me, so I'm just going to pull it through here. Alright, and now through these 4 loops right here in the ear, pull it through. Oh, oops, and keep it on my hook actually. Come on, there we go. And pull this second slip knot into it. And now I'm on the back side. So remember, I'm going to skip these 2 that are joined and go directly onto this one. From right here, I'm going to grab that teardrop. So I'm going to go through the teardrop and pull it through. And I'm actually going to extend my slip knot now. So now that I have it extended, right here, this one would have been my next one, but I'm going to skip 2 and I'm going to go directly onto the third one, which is right here. And go on to the next teardrop. For me, it's this one. Skip 2, go to the third one. The next teardrop for me is this one. Alright, skip 2, go to the third one, pull through. Alright, and then the last teardrop. Don't worry about this slip knot. This one is going to be used when we attach the neck. So there is one last little loop right there before the slip knot, which is this one. I'm going to go ahead and pull that through there. and go through one of these down here, close to the clip. So just pull it through, and now attach this to the clip. All right. And actually, what I did last time was I attached this onto all of these, but I'll do it when we actually do it with the neck. So now we have the head taking shape. So I like to squeeze this so that way it kind of makes it a little bit more rounded. And your eyes are kind of popping out a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you, I use clips on these as well. It's a lot easier this way, and it still keeps them secure, and it's a great way to be able to use your clips. So right here, I'm going to grab one of the back bands from inside of the head, and I'm going to attach a clip onto that part. Alright. So my clip is attached to one of the bands from inside here. And I'm going to grab one of the bands from down here, but from the back side. Actually, I'll just grab two. So I'm just going to grab these two middle ones. And I'm going to attach these to the clip also. Alright. And that is a great way to be able to keep it so that way it doesn't move. So we're going to do the same thing again. On this one I'm going to grab that same back one. Grab a clip. Put it on it. And then grab two bands from the eyes here. And then attach them to the clip as well. Maybe one more band. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to just push it in so that way it hides the clip. And if you want to stuff it with some cotton, or you can even put some bands that you don't use, just something to kind of give it a little bit of to help the shape stay. It's going to help a lot. I need to hide this one a little bit better actually. Hide that more in the middle. All right. Right now, like that. All right, so there's my head. Okay. Now to move on to the body. So, however way you make your head, depending on what you choose for coloring.